not object, could we record this?
Oh, of course, it's
Similar.
okay.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
no
Thank you.
problem.
So can you see, first of all, this introduction slide, and later I will switch to your slide, Dr. Shimada. Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now it's 9. Maybe we can wait 3 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
That's
Yes,
good.
sure.
So Dr. Shimada, today's community is Japanese community here. Aya
Right,
graduates.
yeah.
So it's a feel free.
and it's only a 4-hour, time difference between here and Astana, which is good.
Yeah.
So, Anime, you are very much off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
today's
morning in Germany. Exactly, right. You have a great necktie. What is it like, the picture on that?
I use I think this one. Let me think.
Okay, I see.
Which was that? I think this was at the Kennedy Space Center, I think. Yeah.
maybe yeah, Kennedy Space Station, Space Center, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and the orbiter just landed.
Hmm.
Discovery, it was Discovery.
Yeah. Oh, amazing times, huh? Very nostalgic.
Okay.
So now these days there are only 4 astronauts on board a capsule, or if it's in Soyuz case it's 3. But on the shuttle there are 7 astronauts. So I saw many more landing in the orbiter than the capsules.
Hmm.
So I learned more about the conditioning state of the astronauts on the shuttle than
Yeah.
Soyuz, just because there are more number of
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Exactly. And Dr. Shimada, quick question. Have you started to write about your biography, some book or something?
Well, the couple of times I thought about it, but you remember that the book I found and gave it to you as written by the flight director.
Yeah.
And because he's not a physician, he can liberally wrote about the health condition of the astronauts, but we cannot do that. So it is. If I write about that, it's more of other than the health issues.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Right, right. But do you still meet with astronaut after, well, in these days, or you
I
don't have chance?
occasionally at the meetings, the older ones, because the new ones the more for the operations, and the retired ones are comes to academic meetings, so I have chance to meet them and talk.
Actually, the quick remark, Dr. Shimada was first of the Japanese people that applied for astronauts selection.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
So,
applied 4 times. First one was the rejection by the document because I didn't have much experience. But the second, third, and fourth time, I was one of the 50 people who remained in the
Oh,
call.
wow. I
We
see.
still have connections, and actually, on Monday, I'll meet about 10 of them in Tokyo.
Okay, great. Okay, so you have experience of selecting. If some of us would like to participate in a space program, maybe you could give us advice how to write a document.
Yeah, it's more of having no illness than having e- even if you can run fast, it doesn't count.
Right.
The
Maybe
having
healthy lifestyle.
no illness is a requirement.
Yeah, right. And healthy lifestyle, maybe healthy, like mindset of healthy lifestyle.
If one smokes, it's a no,
Yes.
and drinks too much, no. But otherwise, there are astronauts who doesn't do much exercise on the ground. So some of them, returns much healthier than before
Okay.
because
Great.
they are required to exercise about 1.5 hours every day.
Mm.
Okay. Good, good. So, well, I think that we may start because anyway, we would record
Yeah.
this seminar, and I'm sure that many people would watch this video, and later maybe we could send you questions if they would come up to us by email. Okay, is it okay, Shimada-san, if we start?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, good. Okay, so let me handle the microphone to our moderator. So, Aya, please go ahead and proceed with the seminar.
Thank you. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Guest of Honor Series lecture organized by the Kazakh International Science and Technology Association. I am Aya, your host for today, and it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Kazuhito Shimada. I'd like to mention that after the talk, we're going to have a Q&A session. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat anytime, and we'll go through them all at the end. And before we begin the lecture, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Serek Mirmanov, the president of our association, and Dr. Ghalamjan Isabekov, the founder of our association, for their opening remarks.
Thank you, Aya. Dear friends, esteemed colleagues, welcome. My name is Serek Mirmanov. It's great pleasure to welcome you at another honor seminar. So this series of seminar where we invite most prominent researchers to share their knowledge and experience to our members and guests of this association. And today we have a special guest. We have the extraordinary privilege to hear from Kazuhito Shimada-san. He is a true explorer who has spent his whole career at the fascinating intersection of the medicine and space. So me, myself, I am a medical doctor, and I always has been in awe of the human body, its resilience, complexity, and its ability to adapt. But if you just imagine the challenges of keeping that body healthy, not in a hospital bed, but in a rocket which dashing through the space, I think it's very difficult task. So that's the world which Dr. Shimada has been part of. So he has been part of Japanese space program for decades. He worked with the JAXA, and he also supported missions. He overseeing the health of astronauts, and he worked with the most famous astronaut like Chikai Mukai, Takao Doi, Akihito Hoshide, and others. So it's great privilege to have you all here. And so today we are going to hear incredible stories from a real expert. We will learn about the challenges of space medicine, amazing ways we keep humans healthy in extreme environments, and maybe even we will have some hints of what the future would hold for healthcare beyond the planet Earth. So let's give a big welcome to Dr. Shimada, and let's be ready for inspiring and unforgettable seminar. Okay,
Eric,
so next, yes,
do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So I'm delighted to be invited for this good lecture by Dr. Sarik and Ali, and thanks for Aya for moderating this. And I'm Kazuhito Shimada, or the Americans. Only a couple of pronounce Kazuhito, so I let them call me Kaz. But I started as a ENT physician and surgeon, and was picked up by a Japanese the space agency to become a flight surgeon to support Japanese astronauts. And in my 25 years of career was I was a flight surgeon. And the photo is in Kazakhstan. The helicopter is from Russia. Okay, next page. Okay, I hope everybody knows about the general position of Japan, and I was born there. Next page. I started as a ENT physician or surgeon, and I was born on the red dot, and went to University of Tsukuba School of Medicine. It's 6 years after high school, and worked at a couple of hospitals. Then there was an open recruitment by a space agency, so I joined them. Next page. Okay, here's our Tsukuba Space Center. It's similar to Johnson Space Center of NASA in Texas, Houston. And it's a man-made city, and the Japanese government relocated about 90 national research institutes here. Next page. And they put up the new institute. The photo you see is the hyperbaric chamber, and it was set up mainly to train astronauts. But they found out later that astronauts are much of the time at the Houston, so this is not used so many times, and I'm not happy about that. Next page. And as I said, I started as a ENT surgeon, and the below is a space shuttle, and the below right is my usual working place at the desk, and the upright is my toy, a glider. Next page. My toy. Next page. Okay, so then because there was no good institute for education of aerospace medicine in Japan, there were some teaching at the military, but not much. So they sent me to Dayton, Ohio, state of Ohio, and it's in the the northeastern area of United States. Next page. And here is, on the right is my mentor, Dr. Stanley Mola. He is a character. Everybody in the aerospace medicine arena knew him. He is a wonderful person. We lost him about 8 years ago. On the left is his wife, and they passed away, separated only about 2 weeks. Next page. At the Wright State University Aerospace Medicine course, they taught us not only the classroom things, but we went to many places. This is one of the places we went together with my classmate, and it was 2 night, 3 days land survival training. It was about to snow in Ohio, so we expected it, but it didn't. We didn't have snow actually. And the one of the lady physician here with a red hat is now the vice president of the European Aerospace Medicine Academy. Next page. This is the NASA Johnson Space Center, Houston. And another of my classmate is now the head of the aerospace medicine operations. So he is the boss of all of the flight surgeons at NASA. This is a very famous mission control center, which was built right before the Apollo program. Next page. And this is the shadow error flight surgeon's console. And this is actually, I think it was a simulation or maybe a real mission. We had, stayed here on this chair for about 9 hours per shift. It's somewhat blurred, but on the far wall we see on the right side is JAXA, and then the Roscosmos and the ESA logos. Next page. Now here are some shots from the space shuttle operations. On the below left is the same console we just see in the previous photograph. And on the down on the right is the just the one of the 4 teams which worked for a special mission. So we had about the same number of people. Each unit had about the same number of people, and there are 3 shifts plus one who are the kind of emergency unit. If something happens, they will devote in fixing them. In the upper right is the Discovery orbiter, the space shuttle has just landed on the tarmac. And because there was a JAXA crew member on it, I was with the team. And the upper left is this is the International Space Station new console. So it's a surgeon console, but different from the one below left. Below left is the shuttle control center surgeon console. And upper left is a new console for surgeons. There just happen to be 3 flight surgeons. On the left, beginning from the left side is the NASA flight surgeon for this set of crew members. And the second is the looking over NASA astronauts extravehicular operations. And I'm here because there was a JAXA crew member who is also conducting extravehicular operations, EVA. And the left side is the BME, biomedical engineer, who will man the console, a BME console, 16 hours a day. And they are more for the control officers than for the medical. Next page.
Yeah, quick remark. EVA
Yes.
is a space walk when astronaut going outside and doctor need to monitor his health. Yeah, quick remark.
Yeah.
For audience.
There are so many, biomedical issues happening during EVAs. Most of the time, it was okay, but maybe about 20% of the time there are problems. The severe
Exactly.
ones are like, the increasing carbon dioxide, and the extreme was the helmet was dumped with water. I was not there, but happily, it happened, I think, 3 times. Okay, this was one of the international teams for supporting NASA, JAXA, and ESA astronauts. So there are many. I'm the second from the right. The rightmost lady is the nurse team member. Next page. Okay, this is the launch, and we were with the fireman team, so we couldn't see the orbiter sitting on the pad, but we were the team who was the closest to the orbiter at the time of the launch. And the photo below is the firing control center at the Kennedy Space Center. And because John Glenn, the former selected member for the party was on the rocket, so the President Clinton was here to observe the launch. Next page. Okay, and here's the first circumnavigating NASA astronaut John Glenn, and he was at the age of 77, who was the oldest going to space at this time. And he participated in many of the biomedical experiments. And Chiaki Mukawa is on this mission too. Next page. Okay, here's the one of the landings. This is the same discovery, but let's see. I now forgot which was which, but I think this was on the California. Next page. And this was 2009 when the Koichi Wakata spent 4 months on the ISS and came back on the shuttle. There was a shuttle flight earlier, launched on the shuttle and came back on the shuttle. And he was so energetic after the return, so we forbid him, exiting using the ladder on the ground, but he wanted to do so. So don't do that, Koichi. Was my chore. Next page. Okay, it's painted in 1950s. Next page. Okay, so what is aerospace medicine? This is the introduction slide from Aerospace Medical Association. So usually the medicine is taking care of the ill person and on the ground in a good environment like hospital. But the aerospace medicine is preventive medicine, and the preventive medicine deals with the basically a healthier person. And the aerospace medicine, takes care of very healthy astronauts or pilots, but we put them into a abnormal environment. So we need to prevent issues, and we have to take care of the aftermath illness if they happen to have one. Next page. So the people talks too much about space medicine, but 80% of the space medicine issues we share with the aviation medicine because they have about the third and times more number of pilots and a longer history. So their knowledge helps us in taking care of astronauts. So there are only a few, maybe it's just a dozen issues specific to space medicine. So we first need to learn about aviation medicine, then look into the space specific issues. And unless one receives the very standard, well ordered education in aerospace medicine, it is sometimes people think space medicine has more issues than aviation medicine. No, we learn from aviation medicine. Next page. And the people wonder what the flight surgeon mean. The flight surgeon is appointed by some operational the group, like NASA or maybe JAXA, Roscosmos, ESA, says, okay, from today you are a flight surgeon. So flight surgeon different from the board examination thing. The system is different. For to sit at the board exam, you need the maybe 6-7 years of education. So it's a little bit a different way of appointment. Next page. I hope, Liam, that I hope that the Kazakh language here is not too wrong.
No, no, no. It's good. It's a good
Okay,
translation.
okay. That's by Professor Google, so it should be okay.
No, thank you. That's amazing.
Okay, this is the NASA's flight medicine clinic where they take care of the astronauts. They used to have a much smaller space, but when they moved from a building 8 to building 45, they expanded. So the not only the physicians or surgeons, they also have pharmaceutists, like on the right, and some nurses. Nurses are very important for scheduling. Next page. And I hope that most of the people know the name of Neil Armstrong, who was the first human on the moon. Next page. And after the Apollo 11 mission, he became the professor of the University of Cincinnati, which is the next town of Dayton, Ohio. But he stopped attending many the public appearances. But during the my recent years, I had the chance to shake hands with Neil Armstrong. I was very, very happy. Now he passed away about 5-6 years ago. Next page. Okay, so who is the famous flight surgeon? General public, saw many of this, photograph where Bill Carpenter, stays behind these three Apollo 11 crew members. It's like a ghost in the back, but he is a famous, tough, physician. Next page. So the crew members are out of the helicopter for quarantine to this transfer vehicle. The black and white pictures on the right is the jump training of Bill Carpenter, and somebody told him, okay, you need to do a jump from I forgot the exact number, but like 50 feet with the 16 knots into the sea, which was actually not needed. But he asked the pilot to do that, and the pilot said, "Do you really want to do that? I've never had that kind of jump." But he wanted to. He said that I need to do that, and they jumped. And afterwards, the military people said that, "Oh, you are crazy. It was not necessary." Next page. And he was assembling his book 3 years ago, but we haven't seen him, and I hope he's still living and completed the book. If you see the Bill Carpenter's book, that's a must buy. I haven't seen that yet. Next page. Okay, here's another famous flight surgeons. Actually, among us at the ASMA, he's more famous, Chuck Berry. He was the core person for Apollo 11. Next page. Also, he passed away. Okay, next page. My toy. Next page. Okay, this is the space ISS, International Space Station, and on the top is the one of the orbiters of Space Shuttle, and this was the last time that the orbiter docked with the ISS. Next page.
A question for audience.
Yes.
They can reply later. Maybe how this photo has been taken, so everyone can think
Good
about
question.
this.
Very good question.
Amazing photo.
I answer
actually.
now.
Yeah.
They are. It is very nice of you to catch that. Who took this picture? The picture is taken by Soyuz crew member from a Soyuz vehicle, which was docked at the ISS. They detached from that, flew around the ISS, and redocked.
Especially for taking this photo. Just joking.
Yes, the photo, and also they sometimes do that just to check observation of the outside. That's a good catch, Ali. Next page. Because I had the same question. Who took that picture? And Japan is one of the 5 partners. And although the Kazakhstan and Baikonur has a big burden in ISS operations, you didn't pay for that, so you're still not the member, but the maybe a member for the next commercial space station. Next
Yeah,
page.
exactly.
Okay, the right part is by JAXA, the left part is the European, and Canada was very wise to construct this long the robotics arm. They also manufacture the robotic arm for the shuttle, and if this Canada arm too failed, there was no assembly of the ISS. Very, 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 very important component with the comparably cheap price. Next page. Canada is smart in ISS. Okay, you need to understand this diagram. What is the difference between the orbital flight and the suborbital flight? The blue circle is the Earth. The black circle around that is, for example, the 400-kilometer altitude ISS the position. And the newer suborbital flights goes to either 80 kilometers or 100 kilometers, and it goes back to the same place, same airport. Earlier in the NASA program, the Mercury capsule was launched suborbitally, but they were recovered in the sea. But the US also suborbital. What you really need to understand is on the right side is the Earth and the Moon, and the Moon is very, 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 very far. It's totally different. That means the totally different amount of money. And I don't think people understand this well. There's a huge difference in distance. That means money. So I don't actually like the JAXA, pays for the lunar program because okay, can we pay for that? I have some doubts. Next page. Okay, now the 19th, 28th, 22nd, you have a very, very nice pass over Astana of the ISS. And it's almost overhead. But you need to have a good clock so that it is equivalent to a Mach 25 pass. But when you look up, you see that because it's bright like Venus. Next page. And it is comparably easy to catch it with your the iPhone. This was my photo with the regular small digital camera. Next page. Okay, can you click on that?
Let me try. Yeah, no, actually, it's not working. I'm trying to click it. No, unfortunately.
Okay, then just go to the next page. Okay, the Dr. Satoshi Furukawa just happened to work at the same hospital as me when I was a ENT. He was an abdominal surgeon. And the everything on the ICS you see on the screen, just this. So not much amount of medical kit. Next page. These are regular ones approved by the FDA. They no more manufacture any specific apparatus. Next page. And the exercise on the ISS is very, very, very important. Exercise physiologists say that the treadmill is the most important, but not all of them like it because that bungee, the load is almost half of the body mass, so it's very tight. Next page.
It's very important.
Yes.
Dr. Shimada mentioned it. So it's very important to do exercise. And if you are persons that don't like to run, you are not a favorable person to go to space station. Just to keep in mind.
Yeah,
because
actually,
every
there are some astronauts who doesn't like the harness, and all of them very much like this, weightlifting on the left. They like some macho, the exercise.
Exactly. You can
Next
imagine,
page.
okay, once a week, but every time, every day, running 2 hours, it's not leisure.
Yeah, not 2 hours, about actual time is about 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
This is Satoshi Furukawa, the abdominal surgeon before the same hospital I was working. Next page.
Shimada, just a quick question.
Yes.
It says, there is a surgeon on the, mission. In the history of any mission, there was any accident when the surgical operation was needed?
Uh-huh.
Do
Okay,
you know
there had been no big injury so far. The injury that the people cared about was the once the astronaut had a difficulty in the EVA, and he used his glove as a hammer. And later on the ground, they found that they punched a hole in the glove.
Okay, in the case of appendicitis, what it's supposed to do? Because I couldn't see a lot of tools. Yeah.
Okay, the strategy is the same as in the submarine. It's they don't open up the abdomen, but rely on the medicine. It is a strategy. Okay, so the next page sees that what is different in the space compared to the ground, and because we don't, throw in the astronauts, naked into the vacuum, the comparison is between the inside of the spacecraft and on the ground. For the professional astronauts, the difference is only the gravity and the radiation. Next page. Okay, this is a busy chart, and I don't explain everything. On the x-axis is the timeline. On the y-axis is the how risky they are. So radiation's risk gradually goes up. And the other ones like the neurovascular syndromes, insertion to the microgravity, about still the about 70-80% feels dizzy, but it subsides in 2-3 days. But on the touchdown, it comes again. Seriously. Next page. It takes about 3 hours to explain that chart, so I'll just go on. Next page. Radiation. People talked too much about the radiation on the ISS. It's about average about 80 millisieverts for 6 months. But after the Fukushima accident, the Japanese government said that emergency special condition total dose could be 250 millisievert. Wow, that's more than more than double of the ISS 6 months. So people stopped talking about that. But here the most important number is a chest CD, 7 millisieverts. So if you do that 10 times 70, almost 6 months on the ISS. That's important. Next page.
Wow.
Baku. Next page. Okay, now the largest number of people going to ISS uses SpaceX Crew Dragon. Crew Dragon returns to the water recovery. So they use a ship, but this time different from the Apollo, they are much smaller. So the recovery time is very short. Next page. Like this, you pull out the astronauts. This is Satoshi Furukawa. Then they put them on the helicopter, and they are quickly back to Houston. Next page. Okay, so what about the lunar mission? Okay, this is going to be the one of the two lunar mission rocket, but as you see, it exploded in the Caribbean Sea, so it will take more time than the SpaceX thinks to develop this. It was January. Next page. Next page. Okay, here's a Black Sea, and this was about the water survival training. I thought it's okay. It's a Black Sea in the Russia, so should be cool. Wrong. It was very hot there. So, and I was already on the ship. So I asked the Russians, "Can you lend me some more, more, cooler, the shirt?" And they lended me this interesting design Russian shirt. Next page. And this is harder than you think because they have to change in this unstable capsule. So it's very bad for motion sickness. Next page. And of course, the if you land on the in a cold place, you need the exercise. Next page. And we need to follow them. Next page. Next page. Okay, we had this water tank at the Tsukuba Space Center, which was broken because of the earthquake. But there's a much diving component in the flight surgeon's work. Next page. So I had to oversee the health of the support divers, and they built the hyperbaric chamber. Lower left is just for the PAO. It's not a real patient. I'm in the picture. Next page. And many of the Japanese astronauts also participated in this 15-meter. It's 15-meter, but it's 1 week. So it's a saturation diving, and we need to learn about that. Next page. Looks like a very nice job of a flight surgeon, but after this, I had to wait long time on this boat and vomited all over my lunch. Next page. Like now it's a Soyuz operation Kazakh. Next page. You see, you missed this. Next page. And the Russian military helicopter is now transferred to the emergency agencies or something to pick up astronauts. Next page. They land. Next page. And we go there to pick up. The Soichi Nochi is biting the apple that the Russians gave to him, and he is calling his wife on the phone. I rented it to him. On the right side is Koichi Noguchi, and we are following the Russian team. Next page.
Question for audience. Well, so you can see he's eating apple. What kind of food he can eat after landing? Afterwards, everyone can answer this.
After landing, whatever you want. After landing, whatever you want. Okay, they change in the medical tent, the red one, and went on to the six-wheel in the wagon to helicopter. Then lower right is the Mil-8 helicopter. Next page. Yeah, see atomic on that picture. They thought long ago that they are sure to use the atomic energy for Mars mission, and many at NASA think the same thing. Next page. Dinner time is very important because other than dinner time, they don't have time to gather around. Next page. But the those space food doesn't look very cute. You see. But the like the European and the Russian food, they are basically canned foods. They taste good, but it looks bad because everything seems this seems like the same color, the same type of thing. When you close your eyes, okay, this is beef, this is fish. It's different, but it looks the same. Next page. Okay, the can you try clicking on that?
Yeah, let me try. Unfortunately, it's
Okay.
not.
The measurement of the body mass is very, very important because after you eat, you need to assess how the nutritional status of the astronaut, and this is the only device that give you the number. Next page. Sleep station. Next page. Okay, the haircut. Next page. Okay, this is the shampoo, but they have no more shower. They used to have sauna and a meal program. They took it out. Next page. And the amateur radio was important before they had the better communication satellite. So now they can call directly with their phone. But some time ago, this was very important. Next page. And about the eyes, they have an eye problem. It's not solved yet. So it usually takes 3 hours to launch some device like this, but it took only 6 months for this case. Next page. Maybe you know OCT. Okay, this doesn't move, but it says that the shape of the brain changes after flight and stays changed after landing. So how long they are still doing the investigation? Next page. Okay, the most precise data we've got so far is this twin study. Next time, next page. And one of the remarkable findings that telomere elongates in space. What is that really? And after landing, it shortens. But I haven't seen any the paper to explain why this happened. Next page.
So telomere usually is related to aging. So it means that if telomere extending, it means that people could live longer in the space, theoretically, right?
Yeah, I've never heard the occasion when the telomere elongates, and this is only occasion that I've seen that in the paper that it it elongates. Really, people wondered, but it was true. Next page.
Okay.
One of the Japanese island. Next page. Okay, how to medically select them. Next page. Okay, these the half of them are retired, but the upper left the one lady surgeon and the another with the financial world was selected recently. Next page. And the Europeans, chosen him. Wow. Next page. And the now standards are in the literature, and you can look it up. Next page. This is on the internet, and this is for NASA, not for ISS, but the content is now the same. Next page. Okay, some literatures. Okay, this is a very important book that I gave to Aline.
I
And
read it.
sorry, it's hard to find one, but this is the best book I've seen to understand how it was evolved. Next page. Okay, the magazines, Asthma, journal, and also for general thing, the Aviation Week is still the best source. Next page. And there are about 4 textbook we read. On the upper right is editor as Dr. Mike Barrett, one of our NASA flight surgeon colleague, became astronaut. Next page. Okay, questions?
Yeah,
Okay,
great.
am I expected to look up the Q&A click or chat click? Which one do you use?
Yes. So here, so now we can see the
On
screen.
the chat or Q&A, which one do you use?
We will forward. We will just directly say this question. I will mention them. So we now, Dr. Shimada finished this session. Let me unmute everyone. So Aya, please.
Thank you, Dr. Shimada, for sharing your detailed experiences, and some of them were really amazing to know. Because as someone who is far from the aerospace field, I would like to ask our audience to either write questions in the chat, or because we don't have many participants, you can just unmute yourself and join the discussion. And while we wait for the questions, maybe Serik wants to ask one.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Dr. Shimada, for your wonderful presentation. It's for us, it's very insightful. So usually we don't have such a chance to look into the aerospace medicine. So thank you so much. I have one question. So you mentioned, well, usually you select a healthy people. But of course, no humans are prepared to a zero gravity, right? And stay a long time with a small number of people in a small place, right? So could you tell us, well, a short example, how you train those people to be ready for those conditions, and along that explanation, if you give couple of advice out of that training which you could give to all of participants, how we could use that practice in daily life. Thank you.
Okay, there's a Russian program of commercial space flight, and some of them had some illness, but many of them corrected it before a flight and eventually flew. So I think now I have a very bad memory, but who has what? But the first commercial, flight member was changed because of the illness, but eventually he flew. I think he was the son of the Wayne Garrett. He had some problem, and on the Asthma Journal, there are some cases written by Richard Jennings. Like I think he wrote about the brain issue and the pulmonary issue, and maybe you wonder, is it allowed? But yes, some of them the Russians didn't allow it, like the calculus in the urinary system. The Japanese entrepreneur was turned down because of that. They had a bad experience in urinary tract, calculus, which almost, canceled one mission before. So they don't allow that to happen. But some conditions are corrected on the ground, or either the Russians tested using a centrifuge and eventually flew. And the professional astronauts are easy because, before becoming astronauts, we just deny becoming the astronauts, so it's much easier. But there are many, many cases because the group is becoming older. And what will they do is that it takes a couple million, more than $1 million, maybe I think that $10 million per person to train to fly. Now they want to correct the problem if it's anyway feasible. There are many astronauts who had the benefit from the catheter coagulation, for example.
Thank you, Dr. Shimada. I have actually a question while we wait for a question from our audience, and please feel free to just unmute yourself and join the discussion. Dr. Shimada, having worked at different space centers and supported numerous astronaut missions, what are some of the most insightful lessons you've learned about space medicine or human spaceflight?
Okay, the problem time for professional astronaut is not in the orbit but on the ground. Maybe you read about the lady NASA astronaut driving with the diaper. Have you seen that?
No, have not.
He pushed the maybe Alim, you know about that. She drive from Houston to Florida to meet the triangle relationship, lady, and was punished. So why it happened? Because it's about the appointment for the next mission, and they becomes unstable. Can I get the next mission soon, or should I retire at this position? So if you are given a mission, they're happy. Like people wonder, it seems that the president, the Trump said that, or return the stranded astronauts sooner. No, they are happy and they orbit. They enjoy a long, flight. Maybe not they are the family members, but they enjoy because they trained for that. They want to
Right.
stay longer. They are okay. problem happens after that. What should I
Mm.
do? Can I expect the next mission or not? It's so the appointment pressure is very high. I believe that the driving with the diaper happened because of the pressure. Actually, she had the diaper in the trunk, not wearing.
See.
I have a question.
Yes.
So yeah, you showed the different diseases and then the timeline of that. For example, some days, months, and years. So was that disease? I saw SANS, the ocular syndrome. Is it happening if you spend longer time in this space, or it happens, for example, several months after you came back from this space? And then
The
another
one
second
bad
question.
one
Yeah,
bad
a second question.
case of the problem was that it's not like one became blinded. It's about the maybe 2 lines worse than the before. And the what we know is that starts to happen after 3 months.
Okay.
But the issue is that we do not know any preventive techniques. That is the problem.
Yeah, so they brought OCT there to the ISS. How, for example, if I have an assumption that there is a device that can make, for example, diagnose and maybe help to understand the nature of this disease, how can I, for example, coordinate? Should I, for example, send my proposal to JAXA or NASA and saying that we
Oh,
have
good
a
question. It's one of the hottest, research field. So you will find many competitions unless you understand it fully and have a unique, proposal. It may be difficult to propose something new in that. But there are many things other than that. So you better have a wider view. And there are many things very interesting, but the other people are not proposing many.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it. Okay, thank
And
you.
in the Lim, can you go to the after the finish slide? After that,
Sure.
there's
Sure.
the URL
Yeah.
for NASA used to have a more easier, yeah, the one previous one.
Yeah.
Oh, you skipped it. Go to the yes. Yeah, next one.
This one?
Yeah. So NASA actually had the more easier one to look at, but now what they have is now. So they list the risk and they list the reports that writes about the how much we know about the risk. So you can look through this, and you're sure to find a very interesting theme. So please begin with that.
Thank
Next
you.
slide is the number 2 for this research team. Okay.
Awesome. Do we have other questions? Oh, okay, sir. You guys go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shimada. Yes, I have another question, a little bit different, but also related to the space. So in relation to the colonizing of the Mars, so did you, participate in any program which studies if humans are physically ready to colonize the Mars? Thank you.
Okay. The efforts in the past on the ISS, many of them are preparation for the Mars mission, and for physical countermeasures, what they are really thinking about. One of is they continue on the exercise, because the exercise proved that they can countermeasure the microgravity. But after that, they found that what is this eye issue? Wow, the brain changes shape. And what about the blood clot? So what I think is the best measure is artificial gravity. I didn't put the slide because it's becomes too long. And there is the commercial company. Which one is that? I forgot the name of that. It's a new one, and they propose to rotate the part of the space station. So just allow me 20 seconds.
The overall understanding is you're putting human inside this rotation device and it spins. And so every day you can take some dose, maybe for 30 minutes, 1 hour, one in the morning, one before sleep, and it helped to maintain your body as like in a Earth. Yeah, overall concept. He will explain. This also has been proposed before to install it on space station.
It's like centrifuge.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you mentioned about sleeping. I also wanted to ask Dr. Shimada. So which time they use in a space? Is it adjusted to a time which they studied from, or there is some universal time in a space station? So which time they use for this?
Artificial gravity.
Okay, so first go with artificial gravity. I have another question.
Okay,
next,
there's a company which is going to launch the commercial space station, and they propose to fly a module which can generate the centrifuge. But we think that's wrong because if you rotate something external of a model, the safety, keeping the safety becomes very, very difficult. And we have a lot of experience with the short-arm centrifuge. It's not Axiom. What was the name of it? But I forgot that. And the company put the schedule that it should be in the 2030s, but I don't think it will materialize. When the company proposes to NASA, Johnson Space Center, and what about this proposal of a rotating whole unit? And in 2 seconds, they will be denied. I denied. Everything, if you rotate something outside the model, that is very, very risky and also unnecessary with our knowledge of short-arm centrifuge. Short-arm centrifuge could be put in to one of the Japanese transfer model. I have a diagram. I didn't put in the slides, and now we know that probably less than 1 hour of artificial gravity per day should have, a significant effect. So most likely it's not necessary, and we don't have to rotate everything outside.
Right. By the way, Dr. Shimada, about the time they use, so what time zone they use in space?
It's a UTC, Zulu time. NASA's, I don't know why, but the NASA still called it the GMT. But in reality, in time operations, GMT is gone. Now we use UTC, which is basically atomic clock time.
But which is the zone? Like UTC 0, 1, or which?
It's a British time. I mean,
British time. Okay.
Yeah.
Greenwich.
Well, Greenwich. So you adjust to that time from 0, right? Greenwich 0.
Yeah, maybe not exactly Greenwich time because it doesn't change. it stays the same whole year.
Yeah, but which clock they're using? Like, well, when they go to sleep, like 8 or 10 in the evening, which it would be, which time?
If I remember correctly, the wake up time I think was 7, and
7?
go to sleep like 9 or 10. It basically starts from the work time. After the work time, they are on their own. They keep doing something, but you need to turn off the lights. In that sense, it's a sleep time. But
Okay.
they do sleep well, like about 5 to 7.5. There are maybe a dozen sleep time studies published, so you can look it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So maybe
I
final
have-
question, like, yes.
Yeah, I have a final question. Dr. Shimada, thank you for your presentation. Very insightful. I think it's time to start to write your book. It's very interesting overall, your experience over space shuttle missions, Soyuz, and now you're seeing this SpaceX thing. So my question is, like, what you're doing currently? What do you plan to do? Are you still, I know maybe you're still consulting medical operation in JAXA with Japanese astronauts, but what are your plans in the future? Maybe 5 years. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, the very realistic the objective, one of them, is to keep me alive another, I think it's 7 or 9 years to get the 50-year asthma member pin.
50.
And I
You
keep
can
going
keep
to
longer.
asthma so I can meet my friends there. And so the last time I was asthma, the most interesting information I got meeting my the people was that there was zero vomiting of the galactic, what's it, galactic
Virgin Galactic.
yeah, Virgin Galactic customers,
Mhm.
and there is 3 minute the microgravity. I expected much more, but they found that there's zero. Wow. It's a very interesting finding, because for the shuttle flights, right after the insertion to microgravity, the vestibular symptoms starts. Why they didn't have that? I'm very much interested in that.
So you will join to commercial space flight medical operations, or maybe at least look. Yeah, I think it's definitely something interesting that will happen in the future in the commercial space flight area. Yeah, thank you very much. So with Dr. Shimada, we met on a conference in the United States, and I was surprised, like meeting different flight surgeons and meet Japanese flight surgeon. Amazing! You're not every day meeting Japanese flight surgeon, and from that time our network started, and since now, so I really appreciate your time coming here, and definitely maybe Sirik Mirmanov want to say something, and we can handle to Aya. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Galumjan. Yes, Dr. Shimada, thank you so much again. Very insightful speech. And I'm sure that it's only the first time we see you. And I'm sure that there are a lot of information you could share also with us in future. And well, I also hope that you may join also Germany, and maybe inside Japan, you could visit my university, maybe in the future. I would be happy to accept you here at our university. Thank you so much, and I would handle microphone to
So,
Aya.
Surik and
Yes,
Aya, until when are you in Japan?
Well, I think we would stay long enough for you to come here.
Oh yeah, let's plan my visit to your place.
Sure. So after the meeting, I think we could write email to each other and we would organize a meeting.
Do you
at our
sometimes,
university.
go to any physiology or space related academy meeting?
Well, I visit Tokyo sometimes, so I think we could meet there and discuss our maybe future collaboration.
Is there any academic meeting that you and I are both members and attend?
Not space related.
No. Is there any meeting that the two of you that participate?
We are in different fields. So I am right now in aging biology, and yeah, and Dr.
Yeah,
Sam Rimano.
that's